came out to California to start a new adventure, supposedly to play with dolphins. I was living in a communal home in New Jersey, and a book showed up in a kitchen called The Center of the Cyclone. It was written by a doctor named John Lilly, who was working on sensory deprivation work. And he was doing this research along with working with dolphins. He was doing a workshop, so I went and spent a week with this man doing work. I can't do this from New Jersey. I got to find out what's going on. So I quit my job. I was working for Union Carbide at the time. Bhopal, that happened in India, where 20,000 people died and 200,000 people got injured in Bhopal in an accident that happened there. Hadn't happened yet, but it was about to. And I just wanted to leave Union Carbide. I did not want to do anything to do with them anymore. So I quit my job. I packed up everything I owned to California, and I came out to meet with these people. I'm a firm believer in hashgacha pratis. I'm standing in the guard shack at Marine World in November, and I'm talking to the security guard there about why I'm there. And he said, "You don't want to work for them." I said, "I don't?" He said, "Nah, there's this lady who's here. She's also doing dolphin communication work. You want to talk to her?" And I wound up working for her for 8 years, doing a dolphin communications project. We had 3 dolphins that Marine World let us use, and the 3 dolphins became 5. Marine World had never had a baby dolphin born and live, and we had 2 that were born and lived, and I got to raise 2 baby dolphins.
Wow.
Along with a lot of other animals at the park. And while I was there, I got friendly with everybody at the park, and I learned these people and those people, and I would go roam around when we weren't working with the dolphins directly and meet everybody and play with all their animals, you know. So I had a baby chimpanzee that was born there that used to stay at my house 3 nights a week. I had an orangutan come to my wedding and took off my now ex-wife's garter at my wedding. You know, he was a friend.
So you got to California as a single man?
As a single man, yes.
And you got married?
I got married. I met Melissa when I came up to Marine World, when Marine World moved from Redwood City to Vallejo.
So Melissa is
Jewish?
Jewish?
Melissa was not Jewish at the time. We started dating and we started talking, and I, again, because of who I am, started explaining to her about Kabbalah and mysticism. So she wound up converting before we even got married, before I even asked her. She wound up converting to Judaism conservative, but she converted, she did mikveh and all of that stuff, and we got married and had 2 kids.
So you raised your children Jewish?
Yes.
And today, how do they look at themselves?
My daughter still identifies. I'm not sure where my son falls out on all this. He got a little disillusioned with Judaism because his conversion is not recognized by the Orthodox community. So he doesn't count in a minyan, and he was just not happy about all of that. He didn't know anything other than Judaism. He didn't know anything other than what the way he was raised. But they didn't consider him Jewish because his mother's conversion was conservative. He would just stay out during the services a lot of the times, and then, you know, when we had dinner and all that stuff, he would participate in all of that.
So it's very important for you to be Jewish, but it's not that important that your kids be Jewish?
For me, religion is an individual thing. You make your own decisions.
Is your ex-wife still Jewish?
Yeah, as far as I know. I don't know. I don't talk to her about those things. That's her decision, not mine.
When do you feel Jewish?
I'm Jewish all the time. You cannot separate the two from each other. Even before, when I wasn't religious, before I started wearing the yarmulke, before I started davening all the time, I always knew I was Jewish.
So
my Orthodox background, my upbringing, I was always more comfortable in shul than I was anywhere else. I spent 6 months in kibbutz. Before I was even religious, then I milked cows. I would sit and milk cows at night all by myself, and I would sing Hallel, all of the songs that I grew up with, all night long. And, I wasn't practicing Judaism. I wasn't Jew, but it's just part of who I am. It's just part of my nature. Go back to the question of, what are we here? Why are we here? Because there's got to be a purpose. We're still here. We are 14 million people. We are 1/100th of the world's population. And yet the world divides itself into Jews and Gentiles. Well, this is insane. Why? Every culture that had been overtaken by another culture disappeared over time, But Jews, we're still here. First of all, I believe that there is a God. And I believe that we are ultimately answerable to God. Whatever that God is, I don't know. You know, it's not a man sitting on a chair with a beard. I don't believe that. But there is something that's running all of this that we are accountable for. So if I start from that premise and I work my way back, I get to Sinai. And I say, what happened? Something had to have happened at Sinai. We are the only religion where a deity, a God, whatever, manifested itself to an entire people, not a single person, but an entire people. There was revelation to whatever that happened at Sinai. So if you believe that something happened at Sinai, then the question is what? And the question is that what keeps us together? That something fundamentally happened there that changed us forever and that made us who we are. We talk about in Judaism the Pintel Yid, that part of us that no matter what you do knows that you are Jewish. I know people who don't do anything, who do not know anything about Judaism, but they know they're Jewish.
Today you also do tahara, no?
Yeah, I do tahara with whenever somebody passes away, we do tahara.
Can you explain a little bit about that?
About that. So when in Judaism, when someone dies, their body has to be prepped. Men only do men, women only do women, and the body has to be washed and cleaned and put into the garments that they wear for the rest of their lives, and that's what we do. We do that, and I have no problem doing that because this is pretty much what I do every day anyway. So I'm a firm believer in Hashgacha Pratis, that God directs my life, because the stuff that has happened to me over my years, over the course of my journey, it's been just amazing. I've gotten to do just incredible stuff.
Thank you.
Good.